you know, Snake gave themselves more options in game number 2.
And unfortunately, Invictus Gaming yet to give me my first live experience of Italia winning a match. I had 2 opportunities today, Spawn. One was TSM, didn't happen. Now Invictus Gaming, also not happening. I don't know what's going on with this champion. Doesn't like me very much. As Malzahar and Rek'Sai are going to be the first 2 bans that come out from Invictus Gaming to start off champion select for game number 3. LeBlanc and Vladimir, the 2 bans that Snake will be dishing out. Still waiting for the 3rd and final bans from both these teams. We'll have to see what Invictus Gaming decide to take off the table. And Siva is going to hit the bench. We saw 3 80 carry bans coming out from these 2 teams last game.
Yep, but the exact bans that came out of IG in game number 1. It is so far the same bans out of Snake as well. See whether they follow up with a Gragas ban.
Could very well be. We have seen Rise just slip through pick ban phase throughout today. I believe in all 6 games we've casted his pick up for the top lane for Snake.
That's true. I don't know whether Tiamat on Gragas or Hurricane on Graves. I don't honestly know which one is worse. And that's scary.
Is the possibility that both could be picked up in the same series scary as well?
No, there's no hope.
Well, Kid's going to be picking up Hecarim. That should be going into the jungle since he is hovering. We've got Smite and Ghost. Braum is the champion of choice for Invictus Gaming as a support.
Yeah, and we've already mentioned this. Braum really does shut down exactly what Gragas brings to a comp during the mid game. You can still get the deep flanks late game when the map really does open out, but you know, underneath mid lane turret where you want to be able to pop people out definitely isn't going to be an option. I would like to see this one more time, especially with the Ezreal. There's 2 very good late game carries that are able to scale up, and once again, Snake have a very straightforward, easy to execute comp.
Well,
can lane swap, can go into standard lanes, and can just team fight late.
Well, they do lock in both of those picks. I think, like we said earlier, they know Ezreal one of the few remaining meta picks that are available here. Azir is going to be Tank's champion of choice, so they have the option of last picking either their supports or Flandre's top lane champion if they decide to flex the Trundle, when they can go super flex pick and put the Gragas up top again.
One more time, a huge scaling comp coming out of Snake. I mean, they've got the Trundle to be able to strip away resistances, a good team fighting jungler, as well as really solid carries there that are good at going forward and backwards. IG have a better composition this time, I will say, to go toe-to-toe with them. However, you have to be able to play around the Gnar. We've seen teams fail at it time and time again. He's a very tricky champion.
Let's see if they can do that. Save, you know, has been looking a little bit better in this series since he first started in Invictus Gaming. Rookie, he's going to be taking the Control Mage matchup against Tank here today, which is always interesting to watch. Yeah,
it certainly is, especially when, you know, you've got someone like Gragas that can impact lanes early. So pressure on Rookie to be able to keep toe-to-toe and trying to absorb some of that pressure LCOFM has.
Well, let's see if we can do just that as we head into the third and final game of tonight, which is going to be Invictus Gaming taking on Snake. On to Summoner's Rift here for game number 3 between Invictus Gaming and Snake eSports. The series has been tied up 1-1 after we saw Snake in that last game fight in a very different style to pull the series back.
And, you know, EDG, they kicked off the night. They said, we're going to send you home early. It is Sunday night. We understand, guys. Don't worry. We have your back. Be well rested for your Monday morning meetings. And then the rest of the LPL has come in, Fish, and they had a completely different idea about how it was going to go. And, you know, all I have to say is shame on you, Snake, and Invictus Gaming.
Normally it's Team WE that decide, you know what, Fish, today you're not taking public transport home. Fork out the $50. Get in a cab.
As a deep invade is coming out of Jay-Z, as well as Martin. That was actually a really nice tag out of Jay-Z. Probably could have followed up.
Gets the stun. Concussive blows being threatened on towards the barn. In fact, it was Victor rotating over to see if he could get anything cheeky done. Rookie opting to go for the cleanse in this match in the mid lane, whereas we do see Tank picking up exhaust on his ear.
Yeah, a little bit more of a late game summoner spell coming out of Rookie. Wants to be able to cleanse flash out of things like the body slam and the cask.
Seems like we're going to get standard lanes as well, from what I can tell.
And it's actually going to be the Bard, Braum and the Jhin invading here. This is... Oh, he missed!
Misses the Cosmic Binding.
What a disaster!
It's going to be the concussive blows that come out straight on top of Jay-Z.
And normally it's a Bard that you see invade really early on. The reason is you want to keep them level 1. However, I mean, I guess a little bit of a mind game coming through. It does definitely not work out.
Jhin gets all through those minutes with a nice bouncing grenade. Jay-Z already back down to half health after using a single pot in that game.
What a satisfying spell, by the way, bouncing grenade. It's a good one. There's nothing better than hitting 3 minions onto a champion and just chunking them the heck out.
And as we saw last series, there's always the opportunity for a Sivir standing next to it with Spell Shield ready not to hit her.
Yeah, oh.
Marge gets a Cosmic Binding to her face, gets stun locked down at the bottom lane. But nothing too much happening between these two, just trading back and forth between the bottom lane AD carries and supports. We can see SLFM started on a red buff, actually took Raptors first with the help of Flandre. And moves straight towards his Red, now on the bottom side of his jungle. Checking with the top lane save, almost Mega Gnar, trying to poke out Flandre wherever he can. He's slightly ahead in terms of CS, but Trundle's keeping up quite nicely.
Yeah, exactly right. And actually he goes for a Doran's Blade, which I normally like the shield start on Gnar, which is a little bit weird, but you know, you can tank up minion damage a lot better. And a lot of Gnar's laning phase is about being able to understand where you can auto-attack, harass, take the minion damage and still come out ahead, which doesn't, like, the Doran's Blade start just doesn't afford you that same luxury.
Martin actually gets clipped down there by none of the Winter's Bite, but also the Deadly Flourish that comes out from Marge.
It's not really aptly named at this stage of the game, Fish, Deadly Flourish. I mean, the longer the game goes, I assure you, it does hurt more, but right now, it didn't look all that intimidating.
Tickling Flourish coming out from Marge. We're having a lot of a look at this bottom lane. Just been trading back and forth between the two. No CS discrepancy created just yet. In fact, the entire map is fairly even at the moment. A small lead being created for the Azir in the mid lane. You can see Tank actually pushing out quite nicely against Rookie.
Yeah, this is one of those matchups that Azir just wins early. However, we have a nice game coming in here.
Kid trying to wrap around the back, but a good Shroom shuffle comes out from Tank to get to safety.
And you know, it's funny because this is actually how you win lanes against champions like Azir. You just make him burn some mana early, and that means he can't continue to shove up the way that he wants to. So the more times that can be successful, the better off Ricky will be in these lanes. Kind of the Corky theory. If you could get into Valk 3 times, you'd won the lane already because it meant he could no longer phosphorus bomb you. And you can see that Tank now out of mana and Rookie very confident streaming towards him.
He looks like he's got no health himself, but he doesn't care. He just walks up, auto attacks him 10 times before dropping his spell combo.
Now SOFM wants in on this mid lane, knows he isn't spotted because there is a ward there.
It's a good stun that comes out from Jay-Z to lock down Marge, get some good damage down. The shield will come out from Balan to try and stop most of that. There's SOFM chasing Rookie around Summoner's
They do
Rift.
the do-si-do, they change partners, and he's still behind him.
He still wants this. Tank actually taking a beating there from Rookie, who is out of mana. The Gragas is going to try and chase him away. Rookie already used Flash for that one. Tank responded with his own Flash.
So an absolute,
He's found him
what
again.
is going on, Rookie?
He's trying to just walk back through the lane, fairly confident against SOFM.
He just didn't want the wave to be shoved into his turret without him being able to take any, so that's an absolute disaster, Fish. You're right to laugh at that one. Rookie, bow your head and shave.
He knew the absolute limits he could push to, Spawn. Calculated, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, it definitely was. I mean, he was in no danger of dying, and he still had the cleanse available if he did get slowed down or something like that. But, it looked strange all the same. Kid about to run over a ward is spotted out now.
Still decides he wants to wait a little bit before clearing that one out. No major discrepancies on the map so far. Save is about 10 CS up against Flandre on the top side of the map. Once again, we do see Ezreal getting locked down after Winter Spike
The
connects.
athleticism out of Braum there, just leaping out of the way. It's good to see the big man has the move still.
The heart is the strongest muscle, Spawn.
SOFM is level 6 already. Again, just beating Kid out there. And he's still looking for Rookie.
He's going to find him here sitting inside the brush. Splashes forward with the body slam. Knocks him backward. In fact, away from Tank. But Rookie's got no flash available. So they're just going to be able to continue chasing him down.
Teleport actually coming into the mid lane. Rookie is running absolutely in the wrong direction away from it. First blood goes down.
And Teleport actually will be coming out from the top laner too. Flandre makes his way down just to make sure Save has no funny business going on.
And you know why I was surprised, Fish? Because not even Rookie was level 6. So that is a quick level 6 out of SOFM. However, uses it very well. You saw that Rookie did use the cleanse to try and get out, beg my pardon, of the Gragas ultimate. Didn't really work out in his favor.
Actually see SOFM. His first back went back to base, picked up the machete as well as the Hunter's Potion. So all 3 jungle starting items ready and available for him. Be farming up a Storm too, 33 CS. Kid's been doing a good job of matching just that as Rookie is able to clear out the minions crashing on towards his turret. He's slightly behind in terms of CS against Tank now.
But SOFM has proven the last couple of weeks, he has another string to his bow in the fact that he can not only hard farm, but also gank relatively effectively whilst doing it. Was much more of a fight jungler, not a gank jungler in the GPL, if I remember correctly. He'll go look for top laners and just beat them up a little bit.
He'll camp your lane.
Yeah. So it's good to see the adaptation in the young man.
Invictus Gaming now going to be able to take down a blue buff for themselves. Rookie picks that one up for his team. Wards over the side of the pit too. But still a really quiet game between these two. Jay-Z just takes the combo coming out from Marge and Balan.
Chucks a flower at him as well. Take that.
He's got to captivate his audience, Spawn. It's the only way he really can.
Certainly does. This is an interesting game because, as we said, both these teams really do have good 5v5 team fighting compositions. But it is going to be the bottom lane that, you know, slowly but surely is starting to whittle them down.
That combo doesn't hurt too much, but if you hit it 10 times over spawn, it's going to start to do something.
It certainly does start to chip. Top laners still don't have summoner spells available, as Rookie is on the complete wrong side of the map again.
I think SOFM is one of the few junglers that I see just doesn't care about the vision in mid lane, just walks straight down it every single time he wants to get across.
Certainly does. Rookie, however, took his 3 little raptors.
He's not going to be too happy about that one.
Certainly is not.
Like we've said today, Spawn, you know, those are the 3 that matter. He's able to find the ward that was placed down by Rookie, takes that one down. Hecarim, meantime, has been taking away his own red buff.
What were they eating? No, I'm hungry. I've been on camera for 6 hours. This isn't fun at all.
Well, thank you so much, random spectators in China.
Oh, what I would honestly, for a donut right now, like, I would be, keen.
One more game to go, Swan. You can have your dinner.
Yeah,
I know you had some. I know you had some good noodles before this.
I did actually. Chili coriander noodles. They were fantastic. Would recommend. As Kid gets spotted out of his own jungle.
And still just trading back and forth in this bottom lane is the main focal point, so to speak, with SOFM constantly showing some pressure in the mid lane. But it's kind of a similar trend to what we saw in Game 2, minus the lane swaps that we saw came out from these two teams. Just very slow, very steady, trying to scale up a little bit before they do anything.
Well, the lane swaps did come out relatively late, you got to remember, in Game 2. So there's still the potential that Snake just swap away, because you would say that even though the game is relatively even, they are starting to lose out on some of these trades. As you can see right there, you know, Marge and his support starting to get a little bit of an advantage, as well as the fact that there's a 30-ish CS lead starting to build in the top lane for Save.
That's a pretty big lead. It's actually still in Snake's favor, though, at the moment in terms of gold, as Save turns into Mega Gnar. Flandre just goes toe-to-toe against him. Ults him. Mini Gnar has to try and jump away. SOFM makes his way towards the top side of the map. Going to spot out a ward that was placed down previously.
I wonder if that's a go button on the bottom side of the map, because you can see they are recalling, but Kid is there. If they cancel this, they don't. Definitely was a potential to go for it. SOFM being spotted out. He wants his wolf cam. See where the Rookie actually and Save collapse on this one.
You can see Save is like, oh, he's coming top lane. I've got to run. SOFM's got more important things to deal with at the moment. Kid going to do the exact same thing, though. Look towards the wolf camp, but that's gone.
Certainly is. We'll see, however, whether they can get in here.
What? Oh, that's 2 wards.
No dive going to be forthcoming, and a very quiet early game Fish. I mean, this is slow tempo. Walk through the brush, you. There we go. Scuttle Crab will show them the way.
Here's a Tempo Fate, though. A flash will come out from Rookie to try and get away, but a good bind comes out on Kid. Gravity Field comes up as well, but he used the ultimate to get away. Chaos Storm dealing a lot of damage to SOFM as he's trying to flash away. Kid's going to be the first to fall. Martin, though, takes the ultimate coming out from the Jhin. Takes so much damage in this fight. Save's going to join the fight as well. Tank gets taken down. Not just yet. Tries to flash over the wall as there's goes Save over the back of that fight. It's a chaotic fight between the two as Flandre almost gets shut down there in the bottom side of the map.
You don't want to go through, guys. He's just going to take up the wave. Here goes Save.
Let's see what they can do. Flandre done a good job of stopping the wave from crashing. Save going to take 2 turret shots in that one. Not going to be enough to take him down. Will turn Mega in a second. All in all, it's just a 3-for-2 trade in favor of IG.
Yeah, it certainly is, but teleporting away from a massive wave there was Save. So Flandre's caught back up. We said it was a 30 CS difference. Well, in the meantime, he's been able to pick himself up about 25 CS to 6. And he just grabs himself an assist. He's going to completely equalize it. Oh.
Almost finds him.
Certainly did. Now Marge not going to be able to go back. He's sitting on so much gold. Even in a potential to be dove here. And they're just going to stay, take up the CS, and push through. This is another lane swap.
Flandre's
Kinda.
Flandre's got his Tiamat, so that's going to aid to his pushing capabilities in the bottom lane. Marge gets his recall stopped again, so tempo advantage, you could say, for Snake right now. As both Martin and Flandre work on taking down that bottom lane outer turret. So yeah, another kind of lane swap coming out from Snake.
Yeah, exactly right. So they're going to be able to take down this bottom lane turret. You know, Dragon is available. It's only in air. Save, as well as Balan, are up in the top lane. So we'll see whether they can push through and kind of replicate to some success what's happening right now.
Last time we saw Snake
they're pushing through.
Last time we saw Snake initiate this style of lane swap, so to speak. Invictus Gaming didn't get that first turret, so we'll have to see and check in if they do eventually take that one down. But Snake are pushing through, like you mentioned. Here comes the magical journey.
There's no way they can stop this. I mean, they just should have not committed to it.
The ultimate comes out from Bard. Marge uses the Yoma's Ghost Blade for the extra movement speed to get out of range of that, but they get what they came for, which was that bottom lane inner turret, so a 2-turret trade for 1 again from Snake.
Yeah, and we'll see whether on the top side of the map they can replicate anything or at least bounce back bottom as hard as possible.
Here comes the curtain call, though. SFM was fairly low, so he'll just take the magical journey out of that one.
But Rookie is near the zone, actually goes towards top side of bottom line of mid lane, so not going to be able to stop anyone here. I think that's a little bit of a mistake out of Invictus Gaming. Probably could have played that slightly more aggressive.
Speaking of Rookie, he's still playing really aggressive in this mid lane here, taking turret shots galore against Tang, trying to shove this wave in towards his turret, denying him a couple of minions as well as he moves over to try and take his blue buff.
Yeah, but they need to shove bottom lane hard right now. I mean, you can see Martin as well as Jetso are going to move towards the top side of the map. Flandre's prepping that very aggressively. They're going to look to push through again, Fish, because it's nice and deep. Jin isn't the best turret taker in the game.
Certainly isn't.
Save's up there to respond. He can't really stop this.
Doing just that is now Tank going to be heading back to base as well. Let's see if they can do the exact same thing. Save now getting jumped on by Flandre. The pillar did come out. It's going to tank a few turret shots for this, but already got some good trades back and forth against the Nah.
Yeah, exactly right. And the reason that's important is because they're not really trying to fight the Nah. They're just trying to make it so he doesn't trim the wave. And all of a sudden, they shoot through one more time. Little bit of an advantage this time to Invictus Gaming, but Trundle as well as Ezreal will just take down turrets so quickly, and they send Kid into the jungle. Kid, you have to hit the turret.
Going to try and take down this bottom lane inner turret, so it seems like IG going to try and dive right behind Safe here. Magical Journey really far behind the back lines, but they're just going for the turret again. So all in all, after the delayed lane swap comes out, it really feels like if Snake can do this properly, we'll get 4 turrets for 3.
IG should keep pushing, however, because now all of a sudden they do have the tempo advantage. Kid came back. Remember, he's a Trinity Force user. See how much damage they can get done. Race against time.
And that's a quarter of the health done already. It's a Jin, so they push this one fairly slow, but that might actually just go down. They're going to send a few members up here, but Inhibitor turret coming down for Invictus Gaming.
Yeah, so finally Invictus Gaming threw the gauntlet and they came up huge.
There comes the ultimate out of Bard, though. They're able to lock down Balhan.
Unfortunately, you're dead.
He's going to try and do what he can, but he is going to get taken down. Donate the kill over towards Tank as well.
It's very nicely done, so they do get a kill in response, but you have to say 3 turrets for 2 in that regard, even though overall the swap was 4 for 4, as well as one being an inhibitor, is definitely worth for Invictus Gaming. SOFM, however, like a man possessed, is tracking Jin to the ends of the earth. The Hillbilly has his scent.
It certainly does, and he's found
Still
him again.
has his scent.
Stops the recall. And even pops the flower there, just to add insult to injury. So that's Martin farming up the mid lane. Already has his mana muni picked up and the components of his Iceborne Gauntlet. So a major power spike for Ezreal will be coming out shortly. And it's going to be the Cloud Dragon that has been started here for Snake eSports. They've got SOFM, Martin, and Jay-Z working on that one, and does get taken down.
Yeah, Save actually altered Flandre there. You can see Kid as well as Rookie are heading up as well. They want the troll.
Let's see if they can get him. Subjugate being put on top of the Hecarim. Going to stop him from advancing too much forwards. Tank's even trying to move aggressively as well. Rookie going to take 2 turret shots and a clean true shot barrage to force him away. So to repel the push on the top side of the map.
Yeah, they certainly do. A little bit of a fumble there from Invictus Gaming, you have to say. Very even game and only 18 minutes in.
Trying to push for this one. And Snake now moving towards the middle of the park.
Rookie has gone back and picked up his first major item. It is important to note, however.
It's going to be that Rylai's Crystal Scepter. This mid lane outer turret taking a little bit of damage. Baolan trying to do what he can with the chair to block some of the damage. You know, Ghostblade coming out from Marge, giving him a little bit more movement speed.
Yeah, that's all it was used for, burst of movement speed. Thought he might try to open up with that ultimate, but no follow-up in the area. Jay-Z has been hanging around SOFM too long. See whether he gets it.
He's looking for the Cosmic Binding, but still Rookie picks up the blue buff. So with the major Rylai's Crystal Scepter being picked up as well as blue buff, lots of wave clear potential coming out from IG.
You can see, however, CS scores all in favor of Invictus Gaming. Even though kills are in favor of Snake one more time, gold is pretty much within 400. I mean, there is absolutely nothing between the two. Really is only SOFM that time and time again has been able to find advantages in this game. And Save, you have to say one more time, is having an impressive performance.
Certainly is. And Flandre going to get locked down there, but it's not enough. Martin now looking to try and take down the Krugs on the top side of the map. Tank doing what he can to farm up the mid lane. And once again, we're back to a kind of stalemate between these two teams. It's dead even. Turrets 4-4. A single Cloud Drake for Snake in their advantage, but the gold is now 33,000 gold to each team. Getting close towards the halfway mark of their builds.
But you have to say the one thing that IG have in their favor this time around is the fact that they've already broken the base. And, you know, if push comes to shove, they have a very easy way to get an advantage after a team fight. Snake still probably have the team fighting edge at this stage of the game. I mean, Rookie's not going to really one-shot anyone.
Looks like they were trying to collapse on towards Flandre there. Good Pillow does come out to separate their team. Now they've caught Balhan again. Here comes the Kurtzakor trying to knock back the team. Tank's going to avoid that one. A nice ultimate comes out from Bar to stop the Kurtzakor from Marge as well. And they just trade ultimates.
Ooh, SOFM.
He's caught, going to get knocked up and shut down here as there's the ultimate coming out from Rookie. Takes him down. Baolan in a little bit of trouble, but dashes away to Marge to get to safety. Pillar comes out trying to separate the team. Save's almost going into Mega here. Have to be very careful. They lock down Flandre. The Hecarimont comes out. Save has his ultimate available, but there goes Rookie. Straight into the team. Takes him down. A flash fall for Tank means he can't get the ultimate off. There goes Rookie looking to try and take down the Ezreal, but Flandre takes him down. Suddenly, a double kill will come out for Flandre, and he's still chasing the rest of IG. Marge has to be very careful as Baolan's going to be the next one to fall. There's a Jid trying to run away from a Trundle. It's not a pretty sight here, Spawn. As Flandre is going to chase him to the ends of the earth. That pillar's going to be out shortly, but it doesn't need it. Just chomps him down. Gets exhausted as well as Tank goes on a killing spree. And Snake turned that one around.
And IG do their best Snake impression, win a team fight and dive a turret for no reason. I mean, Kid goes for a drive-by, and then Rookie just flashes on top of a Trundle, gets absolutely destroyed, and they're pinging out Baron again.
Looks like that's the objective they're going to go for. We even see the Ezreal move away from the mid lane. Teleports are coming towards the top side of the map on top of the pink wall that was placed down for Flandre. SOFM has already started on this one with the help of Martin.
I don't think they can actually do it. Rookie's already en route. Kid is there as well. Save still has the Mega Knight available. This is a ballsy call, but it could be game-changing.
He's going to turn Mega, just jumps over the pit, tries to go in, but gets obliterated by Style of Me. As now Baron is down to 3,000 health. They're still tanking this one. Kids into the pit as well. SOFM's gone out. There goes the Bard ultimate to lock a few down. Rookie's take it down. SOFM goes back in.
He gets it!
He managed to get the reverse steal, so to speak, here. As Snake pick up the Baron.
So Snake grabbed the Baron. They trade 2 for 1, and they grab themselves a 3,000 gold lead. That should not have happened. SOFM should have died first. IG, they're all front about backwards. Like, I just have no idea what is going on anymore. Looks like Kid wants the dive.
Oh, they're going on top of Tank here. He's not no Shurima shuffle to get away just yet. Finally gets out of it as Kid's now the one that's getting locked down. True Shot Barrage takes him down. Baolan also takes a lot of damage on the back end of that fight as Rylai's Crystal Scepter keeps Flandre at bay. This was a very quiet game, Spawn. It's now just turned into an absolute disaster.
Yeah, it certainly has. Clown Fiesta comes to mind a little bit here, Fish. Because honestly, the teams are just throwing themselves at each other. I mean, they're trying to just fight 5v5. And it's going all in Snake's favor.
Well, Baroned up Snake's going to be able to take down the mid lane inner turret. Magical Journey put down by the Bard means they can get back to safety if they choose to do so. Dragon is going to be back up in about 20 seconds. So another big objective for Snake to look to try and take down if they choose to.
And
Martin finds the red buff.
This is the difference between the best Gnar players in the world and people that aren't all that familiar with it, because Save had the opportunity there. So we're going to see a little bit of a cheeky red buff steal coming out actually from Martin, it looked like.
Yep, gets it with the Mystic shot.
If that's someone like Myron, for example, that has played so much, or even Koro, that has played so much Gnar in their time, that's a 4-5-man Gnar ultimate into the side of a Baron wall that completely changes it. Save, unfortunately, goes from the front of Baron pit, gets no one with it, and just dies.
And Save actually getting caught out again. There's the True Shot Barrage to cancel the recall, as well as the Cosmic binding straight into the wall. Turns Mega. Good animation cancel is not going to stop the fact that there's 4 members of Snake surrounding you, and Save gets taken down by Martin.
Yeah, and Save, even though we had a great laning phase, he's showing that in these teamfight situations, he's not as practiced on the champion. And it really has come back to bite IG quite heavily.
Certainly has. Now, Snake have picked up a 5,000 gold lead for themselves. Still have the Baron buff and still looking to push for more objectives. As bottom lane inhibitor turret comes to mind. Frozen Domain comes out from Flandre just to push the wave in a little bit quicker. Martin going to get a couple of auto attacks off on towards the inhibitor turret. Baolan comes in, puts up the shield, stops for few of the auto attacks that come in towards the turret. And Snake still looking to continue their push with the rest of their Baron buff.
Yeah, and one more time, a more reserved game plan coming out of Snake. They're going to be able to push in this one. There's nothing that the IG lineup can do.
Well, there's the curtain call that comes out, gets lots of damage onto Jay-Z, who flashes in towards his ultimate, but he's going to get taken down by Marge. Now Flandre in a bit of trouble, takes the magical journey out. Baolan tries to chase, but runs into a pillar. A good sidestep comes out from the trundle to avoid the deadly flourish that came out from Jin, as Tank this whole time he's pushing in the mid lane.
Yeah, and I thought the Tank would just rotate across and, continue with the team. Instead, they go with a 4-1. So, IG for now actually do have something they can do. They can repel the siege and continue to try and stall this one out. They still are only 4,000 gold behind. Rookie's going towards a Void Staff next, just because of the amount of MR that's been picked up on the other side.
You can see a big power spike coming out from Martin as well, as he's looking for his Blade of the Ruin King. Already got the Hex Drinker to kind of tank up some of the damage that Rookie can dish out.
Yeah, we're sick of just dying instantly in game number 1. Decided that's not what he's about anymore.
Easy Marge going for the Yomu's Ghostblade Dust Blade of Drakthar build on his Jin. So getting more of the flat armor penetration. Also going to be slightly assisted by the Black Cleaver that Save has picked up on his Gnar, not opting to go for the Frozen Mallet that we see a few Gnars picking up as of late.
Yeah, I don't mind either, honestly. I think that Frozen Mallet is a little bit more of I just want to continue to split push into the end of the earth versus Black Cleaver, which is a little bit better in team fight because of the cooldown reduction. SOFM, however, going full tank one more time. It's nice to see.
A little bit more standard. Still gets his runic aggros in there, so a little bit happy in that regard. It's gone back into a fairly quiet moment in that match after a lot of chaotic action took place between the two teams. 8-11 in kills right now.
Ooh, SOFM maybe a little bit caught.
He's able to avoid the deadly flourish.
He's got moves for a fat man, that is for sure.
Have you seen that guy dance? I think we saw him dance a little bit today. He does have the move spawn. Lady Gaga comes to mind.
Lady Gaga fans everywhere are so offended right now. You have to say, IG still, they're within touching distance.
Certainly are. We've seen a few games where teams have been able to fight back from goal deficits. Invictus Gaming comes to mind. 9,000 gold behind Snake in game number 1, able to pull it back for the victory there.
Save top lane, needs to be careful as his team is calling him back. But we've seen this before, Snake. It doesn't really work out. When you throw yourself at the IG lineup, they seem to have a response.
And they're pushing in. Deadly Flourish coming out again from Jin just to try and poke people away. Rookie takes a few Sand Soldiers to the face, and Snake looking to try and siege up the bottom lane inhibitor turret. Again, no Baron buff means it's going to be difficult to walk minions in towards the base, but they're fairly confident with their siege, it seems.
Rookie has Rylai's. Jin went back and got himself.
Here comes an ultimate from Bard, flashed away by Marge, and the curtain
he can open up now.
Immediately being popped there. It's the magical journey gets them back to safety. Flandre going to tank up a lot of the damage, puts down a pillar. Rookie actually pretty low from that extended fight. Martin takes a deadly flourish to the face as he's going to be tanking up a little bit of the damage, but Inhibitor turret is just getting slowly chipped away with every wave that Snake tried to walk into this base.
But you got to remember that they're closer to IG's base. They still have some big ultimate available. Here we go.
SFM goes in, tanks up the turret, immediately backs away as Kid is looking for a fight. Ultimate's in. The rest of Snake are trying to kite backwards. Save is in Mega. Knocks three into the wall. Tank takes a little bit of damage there as there's Flandre going to be able to pick up the first kill. They turn the fight around, getting Marge in the back end as well as Baolan. Now it's only Kid and Rookie left to defend this Inhibitor turret. Snake kite really effectively in the fight.
Yeah, they certainly do. Snake able to turn that one on the dive. He gets 3 people in the Meganar and it's just not enough. All of a sudden, with teleport available on Flandre, they still might look to push this one just a little bit further.
20 seconds until Marge and Baolan both come back up. I mean, Kid and Rookie are full health and lots of wave clear, but it's going to be very difficult for them to stop this day.
He got both.
Great Cosmic Binding comes out from the support. It means that Kid is going to be the only man left alive for Invictus Gaming. And after a 3-game battle, Snake are finally able to pull out the series and pick up the 2-1 against Invictus Gaming.
Honestly, probably should have been a 2-0 with how Game 1 started out, but over a couple of hours, Snake are able to bring it back together. IG still look a little bit disappointed in themselves. You have to say that they were much closer than we expected. Brand new lineup and huge promising signs. I mean, much preferred how IG went about playing these games. And it is all about believing, but today, unfortunately, it just was not enough.
Certainly was, Spawn. They had kept their belief in game number 1. Were able to take that game back from Snake. Game 2 was a completely different story. Rookie looked like he was going to go off, but unfortunately, Talia was not enough to pick up the victory for them, and Snake do pick up the 2-0 and looked a lot more comfortable in games 2 and 3, even though game 1 was still very comfortable for majority of the start of the match.
Yeah, definitely agreeing. You know, there's little things, right? You get Flandre back onto a champion like Trundle, where he's able to dictate the flow of the game, even though he gets punished early in the game. I mean, you have a couple of cheeky rotations around the map. You grab yourself some early turrets. That's why Deficio, Martin, loves this team so much. You know, he's like, it's one of the few teams where they actually will play the map as opposed to their opponents and really jockey for that position. So I think that Snake was back to playing very good League of Legends in that regard.
It really felt like, and as well as with the new jungler, SOFM, he looked very promising in all 3 games. Hurricane aside, still was really playing really good in game 1.
Yeah, no, SOFM's a great jungler. I really do believe that. However, he does have a little bit of what I like to call arrogance, Fish. He's a very confident young man, and, you know, it did come back and bite him on the backside, unfortunately, in game number 1. But game number 2 and 3 showed that building pure tank, he doesn't have to just be a damage dealer. He can get in there, facilitate for the team nicely. And, yeah, they were able to pick up game 2 and 3. This is a Snake that everyone has high hopes for.
Yep, and we know Snake to be that lane swapping team, especially from Spring Split. I didn't see too much of that in this series, but they pulled off this very different lane swapping style, you know, swapping it about 10 minutes into the game to take down the outer turrets.
Yeah, a little bit delayed. But honestly, it broke open the map. Both times that they did it, I mean, even when they raced IG, at least it broke open the stalemate and it allowed them to brawl a little bit. And the surprising thing to me was that IG went with them in the brawl. I never expected to see IG just throw the gauntlet down at Snake, who mechanically are pretty much better than them in every role but mid lane. And the game ended the way it should because, you know, you just don't throw challenges like that at teams like Snake.
And Invictus Gaming looking very different in this series as well. But before we go into that analysis a little bit more, let's take a look at today's results. First up, it was Game Talents taking on EDG, who picked up a 2-0 victory for EDG.
Yeah, that's where the quick games unfortunately ended for the rest of his newbie. They stuck around a little bit longer than they thought they would. They do pick up the 2-1 over Saint, but, you know, Saint picking up game number 2, continuing to look promising.
And right as Atlas and Raz go home, the good games came out as we got 2 best-of-3 series after that, as Invictus Gaming were not able to pick up the win over Snake, who get a 2-1 comeback in that best-of-3 series.
Yeah, and you know, Snake, they will hold their heads high because all 3 of those games were to their tempo and were to their pace. Game 1, a lot of learnings in it, however.
Something else gives us a chance to take a look at Group A standings. EDG still on top with 13 wins and not a single loss in the summer split of the LPL. Snake now 8-5. Game Talents 5-8, tied up with Newbie, whereas Invictus Gaming and Saints sitting in the bottom of the table.
And EDG, the only team in the major regions to not drop a set. You know, the Flash Wolves are starting to follow down. J-Team stepping up over there. TSM lost today. SKT's dropped a couple as well. EDG, the only team left, Fish.
Looking very strong as we take a look at next week's matches on the 26th of July, Thursday. Saint will be taking on Invictus Gaming, followed by Game Talents against Newbie. Those are two really big games.
Yeah, it certainly is. C, who is going to be coming out on top before IMA on Friday take to the Rift against Team WE. And LGD look to see if they can catch Vici with a very important game.
Unfortunately, Spawn no longer one game out of playoffs, but they're trying to get back to that stage. It's on Saturday. It'll be Saint taking on EDG in a mountain of a battle for them. Game Talents take on IG and Snake take on Newbie.
Yeah, Snake versus Newbie. That one's going to be interesting as well. Huge week coming up for Newbie. They need to continue to gain some form. Third place is all important.
And finally, on Sunday, 31st of July, LGD take on Team WE. IMA will be taking on Vici as well as OMG taking on RNG.
Of course, all those times are in Chinese time as well, guys. So make sure that you're setting your clock towards that. It's not your local time. Unfortunately, we're not that good.
And we are going to have some pretty big matches next week. And you know, this week, it's been a story of very long games in the LPL Spawn. I mean, we had lots of best-of-3 series, lots of games going to like 60 minutes. It's been lots of action between all the teams as they go back into their groups.
Yeah, it certainly has been. I mean, both of these groups now are getting fiercely competitive. I mean, this is where the money end of the season is, heading towards playoffs. You're either looking for momentum or securing those spots. And, you know, you have to say for teams like EDG and RNG, maybe they're even slowing down a little bit because teams are starting to get a little bit closer and bite on their heels. EDG yet to drop that best of 3. I mean, I said it jokingly before, but they have come very, very close in a couple of games of letting themselves down. I mean, they lost 3 Barons against Newbie. So this is something that you have to look at getting towards the end of the season.
Even when we saw their first game of cross-conference against RNG, you know, there was a best-of-3 series as well. The game that they dropped was a one-sided affair for RNG. The 2 games they won were one-sided affairs for EDG. So it really seems like things can be mixed up as we go into the later part of the season. And teams still fighting to try and see if they can get to that top 4 spot because there's only 2 weeks left for teams to get those last few points. But for now, we can also take a look at the MVP for that game that came out from Invictus Gaming and Snake. It's going to go over towards Tank in the mid lane on his Azir.
Yeah, and he was honestly robbed the game before. So I like to see the fact that he picked it up in that one. Tank's Azir is really good. And it's good to see the fact that, you know, he's not just a Lissandra O2P anymore. He is able to get in there with a couple of other control mages. And Tank is probably, if I had to give a most improved out in the LPL, it would go to him. SOFM would be my rookie of the split, and you know, Tank, definitely most improved player because he is no longer reliability. Fantastic team fighter for the team.
They've been really stepping up throughout the latter part of the season, Snake, because they had a disappointing start, kind of similar to a few teams like we saw Newbie, very disappointing start to the split, and a few other teams have impressive starts to the split as well, but they've really been stepping up since they brought in SFM as their jungler of choice.
Yeah, they certainly have been, and I mean, it is between Newbie and Snake right now, and you'd have to give it to Snake for who's the second best team in Group A. They have a much better record, but Newbie, as we said, you know, they brought in Dade, and Dade does have to learn how to mesh with a team. We know historically that he takes a long time to click. Game Talents got off to a flyer, and honestly have looked very disappointing since then, so we'll be interested to see how they go next week.
Another team, IMA, EDG's former sister team, looking a lot more impressive recently. Had an interesting cross-conference, but now coming back in groups, trying to solidify their playstyle.
See, I don't know if they're looking impressive recently, because if you go down 11,000 gold against LGD, you've made a monumental error somewhere. I mean, the fact that they came back in and won at 2-0 is very impressive, because 11,000 gold is an easy to overcome fish, but, you know, if you call that impressive, they get whitewashed in 48 minutes from EDG, they get put in an 11,000 gold hole out of LGD. It is what it is. IMA is certainly an interesting team.
Well, like I said, Spawn, they're definitely an interesting team in the LPL, but that's all the LPL action that we have for tonight and for this week. So on behalf of myself, Spawn, Atlas and Raz, our entire casting team and our entire production crew, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys next week.